Oh, I also forgot to say, depending on how you wear wigs, wigs can be either beneficial or detrimental to your hair. If you're wearing wigs a lot, let's say you have hair on your head, but you just really like wearing wigs, that tension between the wig cap and the wig along your hairline around the perimeter of your hair can be detrimental over time if you're wearing wigs way too much. That's why you hear people who wear sew-ins say they take a break from sew-ins, because they know that's too much tension around the perimeter of their hair, and they don't want to pull on the delicacies of their hair follicles around the perimeter of their hair, because it's typically more delicate in those areas, and it's typically shorter in those areas, even like back here behind your neck. So that's why you hear people say they're going to take a break from hair extensions. And let's talk about, I don't think there's any like truly healthy hair extension type, because anytime you're putting tension on your hair can break. Even if it's very little breakage, it's still breaking, right? So that's whether you do tape-ins or I can forget all the names. There's different means of extensions. You can do braid, you can do glue-in, you can do tape-ins, you can do micro bonding, I think that's what it's called. Either way, like, let's not lie and say that that's not, there's no breakage when you get hair extensions, because you can experience even minimal breakage, so if you're wearing wigs or hair extensions like 24/7, like all the time, like you will experience hair breakage somewhere on your hair, even if it's very minor. But I wanted to say that wigs can be beneficial for people, like let's say you're dealing with hereditary hair loss or something that's genetically and something that's out of your control, right? It's in your DNA, unfortunately. Now, if you want to have the faith to believe that the blood of Jesus can break that generational pattern off of you, then I believe that God can do that, but it's not about what just I believe, it's about, do you believe that he can do that, but in the meantime, if you're tired of praying and waiting on God, because Abraham and Sarah, they waited a very long time for their promise of Isaac, like God's blessings don't always come when you want them, but they come on his time. So let's just say you don't feel like waiting on God, or you don't know what to do. God, he blesses people with the capability and the ability to make wigs that look real. And I remember when I was doing shadow work in a hospital, a cancer outpatient center, I remember I went into the room, they gave me a tour, and I went to the room where they sold wigs, and I was like, oh my God, these are the wigs that they're selling patients losing their hair. They look terrible. And I'm thinking in my head, there's people out there who make better wigs than these. Like, these are not the wigs that need to be showing anybody going through trauma of losing their hair loss. So, do I recommend you guys using glue on your skin every single day? No. They have wigs where you can use there's a band in the back, and you can put the wig on, and it's called a glueless wig, right? So you could just put that on your head and then take it off, and it looks like the lace is melted to your scalp without you having to use
watch out, construction on road ahead.
Dealing with hair loss in the root, like if you're unfortunately going through an illness, or like if it's hereditary and you don't know what else to do, like I just want to encourage you, like you can still have hope, because there's people out there who God has gifted with the capability to make wigs that look like they are real. Like it looks like the hair is coming out your scalp. You don't have to be self-conscious and insecure about your hair issues, and if you're experiencing hair loss, he has people out there who are blessed and able to make wigs that look real. These are the type of wigs they wear in movies, because nowadays in movies it looks like this hair is coming out of their scalp. That's why they call them lace frontals. But people, the market for lace frontals is just because people just like wearing hair that's glorified. Hair that's glorified, unfortunately, it's not kinky hair. It's beautiful long straight hair, particularly blonde hair, right? So that's why the market for lace front wigs is at a all-time high. But there's different types of lace. You have lace that actually looks natural that you can't see, and that's why I was saying they are called glueless lace front wigs, right? They have all kinds of wigs, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I think wigs can be beneficial for people who honestly truly don't have, you know, unfortunately they're experiencing severe hair loss, or they don't have hair, and, you know, they're just tired of feeling you know, ashamed and sad. Not everybody can be as bold and courageous as Jada Pinkett and shave all their hair off because they're dealing with alopecia. Some people are not that bold, okay? So it's okay not to want to have expose your head and shave your hair off and be bald. It's okay. Like, there are people out there who can make really nice, beautiful wigs for you, you know? So I just want to shed light on that. And if I offend hairstylists, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to encourage people who are suffering from hair loss. It's not about you as a hairstylist. It's about people who are suffering from hair loss. And my next topic is actually going into these fraud hairstylists, and particularly women and men who are doing hair, and they're doing it for their glory. So they want the praise and they want the worship because they're filled with ego and pride. And you have these people. I advise, before you go to someone that's promoting on social media platforms that they are a miracle worker on hair, I think that you should go and look at their reviews, because their reviews are going to tell the truth. If you see a consistent amount of reviews that are saying that this person's customer service is terrible, they don't respond as hard to
Police reported ahead.
If you see the owner going back and forth with clients, you know, when the clients just want to say they experienced something bad, but every time they get a bad review, they got the owner going back and forth with them, arguing with them. That's terrible customer service. You shouldn't want nobody in your head like that anyway. I see this, like, I've seen this more than one time, where a hairstylist would be very popular, but if you go and look at their reviews, people are saying, my hair's falling out, I paid $1,000 to get this done. Or maybe they didn't even pay $1,000, like someone else was less expensive, but they paid money up front before the services, and it was so beautiful after the fact. 2 weeks later, now I'm even more bald than before. Like, people are literally saying these things, and you have to be mindful. Like I said, you have to be mindful of who's doing your hair, like who's putting their hands in your hair, because that's deception. Just like how Eve was deceived. She said the tree looked good and desirable for gaining wisdom. The tree looked good to Eve, but God said, do not eat at that tree. He was he desires for us to use our discernment. Okay, so just because it looks good, just because it looks like they know what they're doing, just because it looks like they're performing miracles, does not mean it's good for you. Not
Watch out, construction on road ahead.
Later than it was before. And you got these people going to these hairstylists thinking that they really are blessing people, and their hands are blessed and their hands are cursed. Why? Because the fruit that came after the fact was detrimental, and these people are saying their hair was in even a worse condition after than it was in before. And you got these vulnerable women putting their glory in the hands of a witch, because that's all it is. That's all it is witchcraft. You have the devil using this person, and they're using this person as a prostitute, okay? Because God wants us to understand the spiritual warfare, the spiritual side of things. The devil's using this person as a prostitute to come out here and take advantage of these vulnerable people suffering hair loss, and taking their money, robbing them of their money, and then next thing you know, their hair is even worse after the fact than it was before. And I cannot stand, this is one thing that I cannot stand, especially in the African American culture, when a hairstylist is putting 2 different chemicals in at the same time. I don't know who teaches this in cosmetology school, but from what I can remember, ever since I was a little kid, that was a big no-no. And real hairstylists will tell you, use a demi, like a rinse out color, not a permanent hair color when you're putting in relaxer. Or even sometimes they'll say even put a rinse in 2 weeks after your relaxer, not at the same time, because they want to make sure your hair doesn't fall out. Real beauticians that are truly called by God care about their clients' hair. But I just wanted to be unbiased, because I know in the previous video I was, saying clients sometimes need to take responsibility for being a poor steward of taking care of their hair poorly. But on the contrary, on the other side of the railroad tracks, sometimes you got people who are doing hair, they ain't got no business doing hair. So I just pray that you guys just start paying attention, using your resources, going online, looking up reviews, You know, it looks all good on their social media, but go look at their reviews. Go and see what these customers are saying 2 weeks after they got their hair done, a month after they got their hair done. You know, it's not always, if it's a consistent review saying my hair is now worse than it was before, it's not always the client, it's the person doing the hair. Okay? Now, I understand that sometimes a client can leave and go damage their hair, but 12 of them, all 12 of them damaging their hair after you touched their hair 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? Come on now, it's you. So, I just want to say that, and, you know, just bring these things to light. These are things I'm literally seeing. You know, and it's just so crazy how deception is so real. Like, I cannot believe what I have witnessed when it comes, like, what I just told you. Like, it's really happening. Okay, so yeah, do your research, pray about it, and God bless. Okay, love y'all.